Hello and welcome to today's Insight and Check-in. So today I'm going to talk to you about the difference between germ theory and terrain theory. So back in, well, a long time ago, we had Louis Pasteur, who lived in France. He was a scientist and he worked with the French government. He was very popular because he developed the fermentation industry, which brought the government in quite a bit of money. And he was very popular with his germ theory, which was this idea that you catch things, you catch things, simple as that. Alongside Pasteur, quietly working in his laboratory, was another scientist, much lesser known, called Antoine Béchamp. They both lived to a ripe old age, but on Louis Pasteur's deathbed, he pointed to Antoine Béchamp and invited everyone to listen to Béchamp. And Béchamp discovered that it's not so much that you catch things, it's looking at the environment within. Because why is it, if you think of an office environment, why is it that somebody might get a cold, but not everybody does? So you might get a couple of people in the office who catch that cold or appear to catch it, and the rest don't. And it kind of really throws out this idea that you catch things from outside of yourself. Yes, you can be exposed to different things, but actually a number of those viruses, particularly cold viruses and flu viruses, actually live dormant inside our cells. And all they need is a change in the environment within that cell to be triggered. And the four factors that influence whether you're going to trigger that virus, that viral activity, is a lack of light, a lack of oxygen, lower pH, so more acidity, and a lower temperature. So if you imagine a Petri dish, those are the four ingredients that need to change for you to activate a virus. And so actually we have more control over that than we think. So if we think light is produced, we're energetic beings, we are light beings. And if we think of the food we consume, if we think of our vegetables, for example, that contain trapped chlorophyll, and that they contain chlorophyll, which is basically trapped sunlight. Exposing yourself to light outside, even on a grey day, is a good thing to do. You'll still get some of the rays. So we are light beings, and we benefit from exposure to being outside and being out in sunlight. Oxygen gets lower, the pH becomes more acidic, so the more dehydrated we are, the more we can't get rid of toxins, and that toxicity is the same as acidity, so the acidity inside the cell and outside the cell increases. When we're looking at viral activity, we're looking at the activity within the cell, the environment that's going on within the cell. And when we're looking at bacterial activity, we're looking at activity outside the cell. So we have a lot more control over the diseases that we manifest than we think. If we just limit ourselves to this idea that I need to protect myself in case I catch something, your world will become very small and very limited. And it is all about the internal environment. If you want to look into this more, then do look up Antoine Béchamp, do look up terrain theory, and you can look at my blogs and my videos of the past, which go into this in more detail, and how you can use your diet to hydrate, to alkalinize your body. You don't have to be perfect, but the simplest changes that you make can change those four factors: to increase light, to increase the levels of oxygen in the body. When we become very acidic, our cells can act in an anaerobic way, and naturally they do act in an anaerobic way, maybe 20% of the time, and that's where you'll use more sugar than you do oxygen to sort of get the cell going. You can, what else? The temperature, the core temperature of the body drops the more dry and acidic we become. So there's many things you can do. I'm only sort of touching on the surface here. And I was triggered to talk about this because I developed a cold on Monday, completely in tune with the full moon, which its tidal effect has that pulling effect. And if you imagine, if the body's a bit dehydrated, a bit toxic, if you've been under stress, stress is physically dehydrating. So if you've had a lot of negative thoughts, maybe some difficulties, some difficult emotions, that kind of thing that get trapped in the body, all of that creates acidity. And what the full moon does is its tidal effect, it has a pulling effect, and that can concentrate whatever imbalance is already occurring in the body. So if there's too much dehydration and acidity, then it will concentrate that inside the cells and you'll feel so much worse. And so if you drink a load of alcohol or you have a sleepless night, or you're going to feel worse on the day of a full moon because of the pulling effect. And in fact, 3 days before and 3 days after, you can feel that negative feeling. And it's not that the full moon's bad, it's just that it's highlighting, it's a very useful way of highlighting where you're at physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So for me, it was a little bit of had a very busy weekend running around for my family, and it was just highlighting to me the need to refine my diet, to get lots of rest, and just take some downtime. And if you do surrender, you will find that your body responds well. It's almost like it has an upgrade. You might have sudden lucid thoughts about things, more creative or inspired ideas about things. You might feel better about yourself. If you try to fight it, and if you get yourself in a bit of a miserable state because you've got a cold or whatever, then obviously it's not going to feel great, and you may find that the symptoms can drag on for weeks. Okay, so all interesting stuff, hey? So powerful though, if you can acknowledge the power and wisdom of your body and come away from this idea that there's all these enemies outside of you and all these dodgy viruses and bacteria and fungi and parasites and all these things that are going to attack you. It's all about creating that balance within. And one of the most harmonious things you can do is to do the next thing we're going to do, which I've been doing for a while now, which is the check-in, which is just to quieten the body, switch off the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, and drop into that parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and repair, to allow the body to do whatever balancing work it needs to do in that moment, and to set you up for the day or the evening or the next day. So let's do a little check-in. Deepening the breath as we do that. Starting to bring yourself to a quieter place. If you can, bare feet on the floor. If you've got a natural floor, that really is great. Even natural cotton, any natural fibres will be good for the body. So feet on the floor, or perhaps you're lying down, hopefully on some natural cotton, and that will benefit you too. So let your eyes come to closing, so that you're turning your gaze inwards. Lots of self-love today. Let's really tune into that healing sensation, that self-love. Deepening your breath again. and let go. And just let yourself feel a guidance and support from inside of you and also from around you and above you. So opening yourself up to the universal wisdom, to the God presence within you. Grounding yourself now, imagining roots growing out of the base of your feet, pushing through the foundations of the building you're in, right down into the core center of the earth, and then drawing that energy up through your feet, through your legs, through your torso, all the way through your chest, throat, and up through your head, and like a fountain coming out of the top and back down onto the earth. And then drawing the sunlight through the top of your head and letting that filter through the whole of your body, down through your shoulders, all the way through, down through your chest, torso, thighs, down to the tips of your feet. I'm really feeling the God I Am presence within you. The words I am are a powerful phrase. Always become aware of when you're using I am and avoid using it in a negative way. I am not happy. Cancel that, delete that, clear that, and replace it with I am loved, I am cared for. I am the perfect activity of every organ and cell of my body. I am perfect health now manifest in every organ of my body. I am the perfect intelligent activity in my body. These phrases come from an audio book downloaded or channeled by Count Saint Germain, and I need to get more information actually to remember it, but it's the I Am Discourses of Saint Germain. Very helpful. I am pure radiance of divine light. So just let those phrases really sink in. Deepening your breath. Simple phrases. I am healthy, wealthy, and abundant. Whatever feels right for you. And then rubbing your hands together and perhaps placing them where you feel drawn to place them, that is supportive for you today, either actually touching your body or maybe a few centimeters away from your body, so you can feel the energy. Where do you feel drawn to in your body? There's no coincidence as to where you place your hands. It will be exactly right for you. I am complete. I am loved. I am cared for. Taking this time to tune in, to be at one with yourself. An act of true self-care, to take this moment for yourself, to tune in. I am at peace. Use the power of affirmations along with your hands to direct source energy, healing energy to the places where you feel most needed. Using your breath to release. To let go. To let go of the past. And welcome in the present. Paying attention to your body and where you're being drawn to, what needs your attention, what needs your love and care. And just gently now becoming a little bit more aware as we come to the end of this check-in. Just starting to become a bit more aware. Is there anywhere else you need to go to place your hand with that healing energy from your hands? That self-love. Anywhere else you need to go. Focusing your attention there with self-love. Gently putting your hands together in a namaste position at your heart space. Bowing your head in gratitude. Be gentle with yourself and see you again. Take it easy.